Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you've been here before, you know who I am. And if you haven't, my name is Jolene. I am a mom to a beautiful little boy, and I have a fantastic husband who is off at work providing for the family so that I can sit at home and create YouTube videos, because that is something I personally enjoy doing. So as you can see by the title of this video, this is basically get to know me slash Q&A. I originally was gonna do this Q&A with Brent, but a lot of the questions I got asked had nothing to do with Brent. So we are going to do something in the summer that is similar to this, but is going to be messy and fun. So stay tuned for the summer. And so I got my questions here that I got asked on Instagram, and I also chose some get to know me questions. So as you're getting to know me, I'm going to throw in a question from somebody who asked on Instagram, and everybody who asked me questions, their names are going to remain anonymous. So let's start with a get to know me question. What was the first profession you thought about taking in your life? All right, so I have no idea how old I was. Oh, it was before kindergarten. I was playing with my siblings in our playroom, and we were playing librarian, and I thought it was so much fun that I wanted to be a librarian when I grew up, and that stayed in my head for a long time. Your favorite vacation? Back in, I don't even know which year it was. I was 15, I'm 25 now. So 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, my grandparents, my mom's parents, they bought the entire family a week in Hawaii as a Christmas present. That was the best vacation I've ever been on. That was my first time flying, my first time leaving the country. It was just absolutely amazing, and sadly since then my grandpa has passed away, so that is always going to be such a great memory that the family got to have with my grandfather. What is your favorite hobby and why? Well, before I started YouTube, I didn't have a hobby. My husband kept telling me, he's like, Joel, get a hobby. You need to find something to do with your life. Okay, well, we had a baby. I figured being a mom will be my hobby. But Connor sleeps. What am I supposed to do in my free time? I mean, I could deep clean, but that's not something I love doing. Anyway, YouTube. YouTube is my hobby. I have recently started really enjoying creating content and editing and uploading. It's just something I thoroughly have been enjoying, so that is my hobby. What is your full name? My full name is Jolene Renee Funk. Not much more to say on that. How old are you? 25, turning 26 here in June. Do you like cold drinks or hot? Definitely cold drinks. It can be minus 30 outside Celsius, and you will still find me getting an iced drink at any location or making them here at home. I'm just not a hot drink kind of person. Okay, now I'm gonna do some of the questions that I got asked on Instagram. What made you want to swap out products in your home? Okay, where do I start? Probably when I was pregnant with Connor. I followed a girl on YouTube, and she was switching her products from normal everyday grocery store products to non-toxic or low toxic to help with her health. And that has always inspired me because if you've been following along on my channel, you'll know in my previous videos I've talked about my health journey and where it's been, where it's at, and all that stuff. And so I figured I would switch out all of our products in our home that that don't have good ingredients to see if it would help with my health. Why did you choose Young Living? In all honesty, probably convenience. That same girl I followed on YouTube, she's also with Young Living, and she had always ranted and raved about Ningxia Red, this drink that you can get from Young Living, and how it was really beneficial, especially during pregnancy. And I was pregnant at the time when I had heard about Ningxia Red. Unfortunately, we lost that pregnancy. But anyway, I figured I would give it a shot. So I purchased my first bottles, I guess, of Ningxia Red. And since I was kind of dabbling into the oil world, I figured I would give the oils a try. And I don't know, it was convenient at the time, but now that I've learned what Young Living, like their seed to seal, and that their oils are all authentic and they don't have additives in them, and just everything about them seems good and clean, that is probably why I chose Young Living. What is AMC? Oh boy, okay. AMC stands for arthrogryposis multiplex congenita, which basically means curved joints at birth. So while I was pregnant with Connor, actually I did a whole YouTube video on this, I'll link them up above. When I was pregnant with Connor, we knew he had a clubbed foot, and it was shown in the ultrasounds, but we didn't know anything else. So the moment he was born, they noticed that his arms and his wrists and his fingers, shoulders, like basically here to here, he wasn't moving them, and they were very stiff. And they were a little bit curved, but not severe. And so a genetics doctor came and did testing and concluded that he had arthrogryposis multiplex congenita, or in short, AMC. And so basically it just means his joints, they didn't move in utero, and so the muscles are very, very tight. And since birth, he's been in splints. His foot was in a cast, and now he's in boots and bars for nights and naps. But the splinting helped loosen the muscles in his wrist and his fingers. And with stretches and exercises that we've been doing with him, he can now bend his arms a little bit and lift them up. We don't believe he will ever lift his arms over his head like we can. So in short, that is what AMC is. If you want to know more, like I said, I have a whole section on AMC in my YouTube channel, so I'll link them here. You can go check them out. Okay, I'm gonna go back to get to know me questions. What is your favorite TV show? Favorite TV show? By all means is Boy Meets World. Yeah, I'm a nerd. That is an old Disney series, but you know what? It is so good. I love it. I can watch it over and over and over and over again, and laugh when it's funny, and bawl my eyes out when it's sad, and I just love that show so much. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Well, before I got pregnant with Connor, I was a night owl because I could sleep in. I've never been a morning person, and I'll probably never be a morning person. I'm gonna have to work with it, because when my kids get older, when Connor gets older and I want to homeschool him, I'm gonna have to be a morning person, because quite frankly, that's pretty self-explanatory. But before Connor was born, I was a night owl. I could stay up all night and go to bed like 4 or 5 in the morning and then sleep until lunch. I love doing that. A very unhealthy lifestyle, I wouldn't recommend it, but that is what I did. Now that I have a child, I like to be in bed by 11 so that I can be up between 7:30 and 8:30 with him. So I'm neither here or there with that. I love sleep a lot, but I also like my quiet time in the evening with just Brent. Are you an extrovert or an introvert? Good question. Here, a very easy answer. I would be home all the time if I could, but I know that is very selfish. So there too, I like to get out and be with people. I do find it a lot of fun. But if my husband were like, hey, should we just stay in all weekend? Sure, absolutely. I would love to do that. But then again, if we were to get invited out, it's not like I would complain and grumble. I would get out, I would do things. But during the week, I'm usually home all week, except for like our Wednesday night Bible study. Yeah. I like to be home. Okay. What's your favorite color? Red. Can you see my couches? Mind you, Brent had these couches before I moved in, but I do like the color of these couches. They are a nice bright red. What was your nickname growing up? My nickname, and this is all thanks to my dad's brother, my uncle. As a little kid, he called me Mojo Bajinski. And to this day, when I see him, he calls me Mojo. And I think it's kind of special. He's the only person that calls me that. How many siblings do you have? 4. I have an older sister, then there's me, and then I have a brother, another sister, and another brother. So there's 5 of us. 4 of us are married, and I have 1 brother still living at home. Do you keep a gratitude journal? Is that the same as a prayer journal? Because I keep a prayer journal and I write in it daily. So if that's the same thing as a gratitude journal, then yes. Are you a religious person? Interesting that follows that question. I am. I am a Christian. I am a follower of Christ. And I also have a video that links my entire testimony and how I became a Christian and just my life as a child, my teen years, early adult when I got married. I will link that here. You can go check that out. How did you spend your first income? Well, I was 15 and I worked at Subway. So my first paycheck? Pretty sure I started saving toward a vehicle, but I'm not even sure about that 100%. Probably on stuff I didn't need, like clothes and shoes and stuff. Because you're 15. Well, if I would have been smart and listened to my parents' wise advice, I would have been putting away into savings, but I didn't do that. Once I got my drivers, all of my income went into like fuel and eating out. What is your deepest fear? Oh man, my deepest fear. This could get deep. I'm not even 100% sure what my deepest fear is. Probably the same fear that a lot of people have, is just ending up alone. I'm gonna go back to some questions from my Instagram friends. If you could move anywhere, where would it be? I love the mountains. And I love the ocean. So probably Vancouver Island. It seems kind of lame considering it's within my own country. But yeah, I would probably have to say Vancouver Island. It is absolutely beautiful there. Absolutely beautiful. What differences have you noticed since swapping products? Connor had a little bit of eczema right after he turned 1, and I switched our laundry detergent and I switched fabric softener, and so I would say his eczema, it did clear up. I have had less gut issues, but I think that also has to do with the foods that we've been eating. I've been eating better. Oh, my shampoo and conditioner. The shampoo and conditioner that I used before, I lost so much hair, like crazy amounts of hair. And my hair was forever and a day greasy. It didn't matter how much I washed it, it would still, I could do this and it would be greasy right underneath here. It didn't look clean. Now that I've switched my shampoo and conditioner and a different oil that I use in my hair, like before I used Moroccan oil, now I use Myra oil, I would say my hair has been a lot healthier. What's your favorite part about the oil community? Oh man, where do I start? Probably the friendships that I've built with some of the people. In all honesty, when I first signed up, I had no idea what to expect. And then the person I signed up under said she was going to add me to a Facebook messaging group. And when she first added me to that, I felt a little bit overwhelmed, like I didn't know anybody. I didn't really want to say anything because I was shy. But the more that I started reading the conversations going on, I'm like, wow, a lot of these women, they're going through the same thing that I've been going through, experiencing the same things I've been experiencing. And so I started sharing how I was feeling, the things I was going through. And they just started praying for me and messaging me privately to see how I'm doing, and all around just becoming my friends. And it is so neat to have friends from all over and that I would love to meet in person one day. And it's just been so amazing to have a good community that I can share anything with, and they don't judge you, they listen to you, and they'll pray for you and give you advice, and it's just been amazing. The moment when you knew oils worked. Okay, this is a very specific story. I woke up one morning with such a bad stomach ache, and I went on to that messaging group and I explained to the ladies that I had this stomach ache, and one lady said, put a drop of peppermint oil on your stomach and rub it in. I'm like, oh, at this point I was going to try anything, so I did. And my stomach, obviously it's peppermint on your skin, so your stomach starts to feel really cool. It's like a cooling. And that took my mind off of my stomach hurting. I'm like, oh, that worked. Interesting. Another story with Connor's, the eczema that he had on his back. I took a little bit of his lotion and put a drop of pine oil into it and rubbed it together, rubbed it on his back. By the next morning, his rash started to disappear. It was still there a little bit, but it was not as bad as that the night before. If my husband were here, which, yeah, he was gonna do this with me, but it just didn't work out. When he was sick this past week, he was very, very congested. And I was having a hard time convincing him that oils worked. And so when he said he had congestion, I gave him one of my rollers, DeJai's. I had it diluted with jojoba oil, and told him to rub it on the bridge of his nose and down here. And so he did, and within minutes he said, my congestion's clearing up. I'm like, see, oils work. So that was pretty awesome. What is your biggest pet peeve? My biggest pet peeve is when I open the fridge and there is two items that are the exact same thing and they're both open. I've been guilty of doing this, but I try not to be. But that is probably one of my biggest pet peeves. If there's two of the same thing, whether in my cupboard, my pantry, or my fridge or freezer, if there's two of the same thing and their seal is broken on both of them, that is probably my biggest pet peeve. Do you cry watching emotional movies or reading such books? Well, I'm not really a book reader, but the one book I did read, yes, I did cry. The one book I did read. No, I do read. I read my Bible every morning. But the latest book that I've read through, I did cry, but it was based off a true story, and it was sad. Movies and TV shows, however, and commercials or YouTube ads. So the last commercial or ad that I cried on was a Pampers commercial. Newborn baby snuggling with mom, skin on skin. Yes, I started to cry. But yes, I do cry very easily on when it comes to movies or TV shows. Like, I can sit here, bawl my eyes out, be a bundle of nerves, and I'm just sitting here watching a show or a movie that I've probably watched 100 gazillion times. So yes. Do you have a pet? I do have a pet. Harley, come here. Come here. This is my pet. Come here. Hi. This is Harley. Yes, you're a good girl, right? Have a hug. Have a hug. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, I know. You're so sweet. Did I take you from your nap? Did I keep you from your nap? She is a German Shepherd Border Collie. She is going to be 4 in May. She is probably the best dog I've ever known. Well, she comes a close second to the dog that I grew up with as a child. Yeah, you can lay down. You can lay down here. If you have to describe yourself in 5 words, what are they? Irritable, emotional, sarcastic. My husband has said I'm loving, sentimental. Irritable, emotional, sarcastic, loving, and sentimental. Those 5 words. Do you have a job? I do. For one, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so that keeps me fairly busy. And I do YouTube, and I treat it as if it is a job. I make sure I get videos recorded and edited on time and uploaded to YouTube the same day at the same time, every single week. Who is the person in your life you find yourself most comfortable with? That is easy, and that would be my husband. Brent is probably the only person where I can act as foolish as I want, or as emotional as I want, or as silly as I want. And even if he does sit there and judge me, I know he's judging me because he loves me. But he is the person that I can be most comfortable with, most authentic, most 100% myself with. And the last question, to be the deepest question that we are going to ask myself, what is my eye color? Brown. I have brown eyes. I think that is it. Yeah, this video is already 25 or so minutes long, so I'm going to end it here. I want to thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like. I would greatly appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you get notified when I upload a new video. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Goodbye, guys. Have a good day.